hello similar to something Justin Bieber is miserable and his downward spiral. Like, I don't know, this could be a clickbaity title. Slogan does make videos that aren't clickbait most of the time, but like, how does some of y'all really know these celebrities' lives? Like, come on now. Just like, some of y'all are reaching and shit, trying to like make up stories, but I'll see what he's talking about for his downward spiral.
Abused my body in the past.
Started valuing the wrong things in this business because there was things dangling in front of me.
You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Bro, I was like dying. My security and stuff were coming into the room at night to check my pulse.
Now I'm just in recovery process, trying to make sure I'm taking care of my body.
Justin Bieber was paid $10 million to fly across the world and perform at the extravagant Indian wedding that all the celebrities have been showing out for. But there are concerns that Justin could barely hold it together, and bad habits might be creeping back up again. So let's get into it. Are you looking for a fun and challenging way to unwind? Well, let me introduce you to there's voted over the most Googled in the past. This person commented, it sounds like his pregnancy with Haley is a tool to get him off of drugs, but it won't work. That dude has a lot of secrets. Which I'm not gonna go as far as to say that his child cannot heal him, because I do feel like having a child completely changes you, but also keep in mind with Diddy being investigated, I feel like he is kind of re-traumatized.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But you never really got my number, so. Right. Okay. My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
Well, Justin did take a trip overseas recently for an Indian wedding. Fans fume over his tasteless paycheck, though it is a lot of money. $10 million. I mean, I don't understand why it's sparking outrage. I guess people are calling it tasteless because it's just so much money for a single performance. It's like frivolous, but I mean, we're seeing everyone show out for this wedding, including the Kardashians. Justin Bieber's latest performance has sparked outrage not for the music, but for the hefty price tag. Fans are seething after it came to light that he earned a massive sum for a private show, which if he made this money, why are people mad that he made this money? I mean, we saw, was it Beyonce performed in Dubai, or Rihanna performed in Dubai, and then Beyonce performed in Singapore. I'm sorry, that sounds so ignorant, but I'm not that familiar with that area of the world, but there's a lot of money over there. I do know that. The luxurious event is already facing criticism for its opulence. I mean, I believe this wedding has been going on for like over a year. Fans across the Atlantic are deeply divided. Some believers feel that Justin phoned it in for such a massive sum, with the chatter swirling online about a lackluster performance and an underwhelming flashing appearance. A lot of people are also just mad at this family, the Ambani family, for being so wealthy, saying that they could be using this kind of money to help underdeveloped projects, to invest in people, but they're just passing it off to Justin Bieber for a BS performance in these fans' eyes. While Justin Bieber is totally talented, I mean, I think we've seen him show off his talents time and time again, some people believe that he was even lip syncing at this performance, which I can't imagine doing that, especially getting paid so much, but also he's performing at somewhere he's not familiar with. I don't know how many tech people he has with himself, but that seems like more difficult to pull off than actually singing. One fan commented, Justin said, I'm not gonna shave or anything, just wear a white tank and show up and do my thing. What a flex, easy one. Justin gets $10 million to flash his underwear at a Bonnie. Some people have all the luck. Another person writes, just because you have money doesn't mean you are a gentleman.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Come on.
That sounds really bad. But anyways.
honestly, in their defense, if they want Justin Bieber, they want Justin Bieber. They don't want him to come up and pretend like he's someone he's not, so they're kind of paying for what they want. At least that's how I see it. Justin canceled his Justice World Tour last year after being diagnosed with Ramsay Hunt syndrome. In comparison, Rihanna, Katy Perry, and Beyonce have performed at Abani's weddings, reportedly earned around $8.5 million for Rihanna, $5.3 for Katy Perry, and $4 for Beyonce. So Justin got double what Beyonce got. Relating back to that blind item, this headline reads, Justin Bieber describes past drug use that was so bad his security would check his pulse. Justin told GQ that there were people in the industry who prey on others' insecurities, and that made him angry. Ooh. I'm like, just go ahead and just say his name now. There was a point where Justin took it to an extreme and he was acting out. I remember there was one clip of him in a restroom where he was just like, not a restroom, in a restaurant. He should have been in the restroom, but he wasn't, and he was just peeing in a bucket, just acting like a fool, but he was on so many drugs trying to forget what had happened to him.
Quick little piss break, you know, quick restroom we can get to. We swagger, man. You know, this is just a better spot to piss. That's a cooler spot to piss. You know, you'll forever remember that. You're not gonna remember him pissing in the restroom. Like, everybody does that.
What are we?
Is that his breath?
Wild
It
kids,
Wild kids!
Wild kids in this.
Again, unresolved issues. He said, when you're this young, angry person who had these big dreams and then the world just jades you and makes you into this person you don't want to be, and then you wake up one day and your relationships are effed up and you're unhappy and you have all the success in the world, but you're like, well, what is this worth if I'm still feeling empty inside? Justin said that he was overworked in his career. Actually, at one point, he and his friend hid his passport in hopes that he could take some time off. Quote, the record label is freaking out, saying you have to do the Today Show next week and you can't find your passport. It takes a certain amount of days to get a new passport, but I was just going to do anything to be able to be normal at that time. He eventually went on the Today Show. He admitted that he hid his passport, but he was still really having a hard time going on and doing that. I mean, I'm sure he was really tired because these record labels, they don't consider these stars as a person. They just want to see them booked and busy. Justin credits his relationship with God and his marriage to Haley for helping him get on a better path. My home life was unstable, he said. My home life was non-existent. I didn't have a significant other. I didn't have someone to love. I didn't have someone to pour onto, but now I have that. And I'm sure Justin Bieber is not easy to deal with. He's been famous since a young age. He has so much trauma. So I have to give Haley props for being able to put up with him, especially with his health issues. There's just so much there that he needs that support. He needs that person, and she's willing to do that. So good for them.
The nurse is going to put in an IV, and it's called NAD. It's going to flush out some of the toxins. I've abused my body in the past, and now I'm just in recovery process, trying to make sure I'm taking care of my body and taking care of the vessel that God's given me. So here we go.
For people who used to have a drug problem, when they get sober, the pleasure centers of their brain don't work the same. So what NAD does is it actually helps to repair that part of the brain. It helps to repair your pleasure centers to balance them back out.
Justin confessed that when he was using, he wasn't great during his relationships, saying that he became resentful and disrespectful, especially on heavy drugs. Justin talked about doing heavy drugs and how it affected his relationships and how badly he treated women. The singer wrote, oh my gosh, why does this remind me of that moment where Justin seemed to be like dismissive to Haley or yelling at Haley on the red carpet? It just gave me a flashback.
That is my score. Husband's score.
Baby, I'm trying.
I beat you, accept it.
The singer wrote, I started doing pretty heavy drugs at 19 and abused all my relationships. I became resentful, disrespectful to women, and angry. I became distant to everyone who loved me, and I was hiding behind a shell of a person that I had become.
I decided to stop because I felt like I was dying. My security and stuff were coming into the room at night to check my pulse. Like, people don't know how serious it got. Like, it was legit crazy scary. I was waking up in the morning and the first thing I was doing is popping pills and smoking a blunt and starting my day. It just got scary. I basically said to myself, oh my God, if you're real, you get me through this season of stopping these pills and stuff, and if you do, I'll do the rest of the work. And then I did that, and then I was good from there, but I never did the actual work. I got off the pills, but I never went to the root of everything. So then I just kind of circle back around, which most people do.
Now, Justin made a lengthy post on Instagram, but I'm going to read a couple of lines from it. Like this: "You see, I have a lot of money, clothes, cars, accolades, achievements, awards, and I was still unfulfilled. Have you noticed the statistics of child stars and the outcome of their life? There is an insane pressure and responsibility put on a child whose brain, emotions, frontal lobes, decision making aren't developed yet. No rationality, defiant, rebellious things all of us have to go through. But when you add the pressure of stardom, it does something to you that is quite unexplainable. I was 18 with no skills in the real world, with millions of dollars and access to whatever I wanted. It's a very scary concept for anyone. By 20, I made every bad decision you could have thought of and went from one of the most loved and adored people in the world to one of the most ridiculed, judged, and hated person in the world. Being on stage, according to studies, is a bigger dopamine rush than almost any other activity, so these massive ups and downs on their own are very hard to manage. We notice a lot of touring bands and people end up having a phase of drug abuse, and I believe it's due to not being able to manage these huge ups and downs that come with being an entertainer." It is really incredible to me how Justin can recall all this and make sense of his emotions, because a lot of child stars, like he says, they just fall apart. Also, it's fascinating to think about like being a performer and going on stage and that rush, and there must be some chemical like imbalance that happens if you're especially on tour and getting this rush, and then you go back to being alone and empty, and he really has a hard time being alone. It seems like he really struggles with loneliness, probably because ever since he was a kid, he became a star, and he always had people around him telling him what to do, or at least telling him yes to what he wanted to do.
Started valuing the wrong things in this business because there was things dangling in front of me. If I get this, I'll be happy. If I do this, I'll be happy. Truth is I never had the tools. My parents never gave me those tools to be a good team player. When you're able to take responsibility, I know I did that, and I know that did hurt people because I did that, but I can look at that and not have shame over it.
Justin and I were never really in each other's lives until he chose to get sober and was trying to come off of the drugs, almost kind of himself.
Catching up to recent time, Justin Bieber's performance at Coachella 2024 has raised distress and concern regarding his health, as sources claim his friends are worried for him. The pop singer appeared on stage making a long-awaited comeback to the limelight with a highly anticipated appearance at the famous music festival. However, sources claim his friends are worried about his chances of relapsing. Remember, this is before we found out that he was a father, so maybe he has straightened up his act, but maybe he knew he was going to be a father at that point. Actually, I feel like Haley knew that she was pregnant when she was at Coachella, so I don't know. Despite all the excitement surrounding his return from the hiatus, there were murmurs about what seemed off about him during the festival. According to reports from People magazine, there appeared to be something fragile and detached about Justin's presence, enough so to raise concern around those around him. Although it looked like he had restored good health after previous battles, there remained some fear that this could indicate a relapse into poor mental or emotional states. His close pals were worried indeed. Before we wrap up, remember to download Screw Jam for free using my link in the rumor out there. Again, it started with a blind item. Looking at Justin's Instagram, it looks like he's been active. He posted 5 days ago. Here is a throwback picture of himself. Some more pictures of him. So looks like there's some good signs that he's doing okay. Anyways, we are sending good vibes to Justin and Haley, especially because she's pregnant. We want them to be happy and healthy and calm and relaxing and enjoying life and enjoying summer. Are you guys enjoying summer? I love hanging out at the pool. That's why.
Alright. Well, that was the end of that video. Hopefully he's not using it again, because yeah, that's fucking so terrifying. I mean, I can't obviously imagine because I'm not a celebrity, but looking at that, all that fame at that early age, and then you don't even have the fully developed brain to like internalize everything, and you just have all that money and everything, like that's fucking dangerous. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that. That's not that's not safe, I feel like, for anyone at that age. That's why these celebrities that go through all this like drug abuse, like they said in this video, like they literally were given everything they wanted and then overworked the fuck out of, like, from a young age. And ew, seeing Diddy in this video was like really fucking like ew. Cause I really, he was so fucking nasty to Cassie, but I hope he didn't, I don't know what the fuck this man did, obviously, but if he like abused other people, that's fucking traumatizing as fuck for them. I feel bad for them. He's such a fucking sick motherfucker. It's just so obvious that guy has nothing wrong with him. But anyways, yeah, hopefully he's not back on any substances or nothing. And if he did relapse, God, that sucks. But I feel like it's good that he has at least a support system. He has his wife and everything. Cause being alone with that amount of fame, with no one to love, like that's just as bad too. But he's been managing pretty good for the past years, I feel like. So with this kid that's coming on the way, like that's pretty positive, at least, that they, you know, he gets to have like a family and stuff. So yeah, hopefully everything's good with him and that doesn't go bad. I definitely myself would not ever be a like celebrity. Sorry, I don't want to be. I don't really like people that much, to be honest, but I'm not rude to people. I like to live in solitude, so having all that fucking attention, pretty fucking annoying. And even the little comments I get sometimes, whatever, on my videos, like, oh, this or that, or this thing one, thing two, yada yada yada. I'm just like, okay, I don't like, okay, keep commenting, like I don't fucking care if it's a good one or a bad one. Like it's just more I don't know, it's just what it is. But I'm doing just fine, so personally, no, I don't need this, like I don't need this other shit. I don't need fame and none of that. And the last thing I'm gonna say is, it goes to show that like money obviously doesn't fix everything, especially for like people that like they have trauma and they have lots of stuff. The money kind of just makes you feel more empty because you're buying yourself all these things and still not helping you mentally, which is why you hear some celebrity say like fame isn't, you're not just some very happy person that you're famous, and you're not, all your problems like go away and you have like a fucking everything golden in your house and you're just happy for everything. That's not really realistic. People are still humans. They still do it shit way worse than what an average person have to, and they got weird fucking people like stalkers, which if you're stalking a celebrity, like get a life. What the fuck are you doing? But yeah, like I said, I'm rooting for him. Hopefully he's doing good and everything goes good. And yeah, that's what I gotta say for that. See you on the next.